healthy competition. So I think that is an advantage of doing it virtually. It was a different experience. For me, quite stressful at the start because of technical difficulties, but the SCOC really made it so wonderful, especially with the breakout room initiative. I like that one.
Muskan, we're thrilled for you, and we're very proud of you. You did Edmonton proud, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me on the show once again. You're such a wonderful and kind host. I'm so honored and privileged to represent Edmonton, Alberta, and also to be on the show. Yes.
Well, that is very kind of you to say. Thank you so much. Muskan Jiwa is in grade 7 at Dr. Donald Massey School here in Edmonton. Yesterday, she won the junior category of the National Spelling Bee of Canada, and I believe she has a very, very bright future ahead of her.
That was great. Adrian talking to 12-year-old Muskan Jiwa. That interview from November 30th of 2020. It was a favorite of Adrian's and a favorite certainly here on our radioactive team and in our newsroom. It is 23 and a half minutes after 3. Normally in this time slot, we would have our business report with our business reporter, Reed Southwick. Reed is here today, not doing a business report, not that important really today. But you did want to join in, Reed. We're glad you're here, and I just want you to share some thoughts about Adrian. And, you know, you work together on a show. You're not obviously in close proximity, you know, geographically in Calgary, but just go ahead and share some of your thoughts about working with Adrian.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. So yeah, I've started.
Today's Blue Monday, known as the most depressing day of the year. Although Blue Monday is just a mess, it's common to feel down at that time of year. But there is a solution that's within everyone's grasp. Just get moving. Any physical activity will work. Walk, run, ski, dance, whatever. Just 15 minutes is enough to experience body and mind benefits. Make the time to be active today and make 2022 the year you move for your mood. Brought to you by the Canadian Mental Health Association. This is also part of the insightful series, Living Supernatural. For that complete collection, all 13 powerful messages, call that number 1-877-LOVE-GOD, or you can go online to order at lws.org/radio. Or write us at Love Word Finding, Box 38600, Memphis, Tennessee, 38183. You can also purchase our new Bible studies, much like this message, in our online store. For more information, go to lws.org/radio. We can all be encouragers like Barnabas. Ask God to send the Holy Spirit in you to meet needs, befriend lonely people, and affirm the misunderstood. Be the one who develops disciples and offers second chances. We hope you'll join us next time for more right here on Love Worth Fighting. Here's an encouraging note we received from a listener recently. Listening to Pastor Rogers gives me a much better understanding of the Bible. I've listened to all of his sermons many times over and always learned something new. He inspires me, and listening to him literally changes my life. Well, thank you for sharing how these messages have equipped you in your faith. We're passionate about providing resources to help listeners grow in their walk with Christ. When you donate to ministry right now, we want to thank you with a copy of the book, God's Wisdom is Better Than Gold. The book of Proverbs is filled to the brim with gems of wisdom and principles meant to be God's guide to living. In this book, Adrian Rogers sends you precious insights straight from God's Word. Request a copy when you call us at 1-877-LOVE-GOD or give online at lws.org/radio. And thank you for your generous support of Love Worth Finding. Thank you for listening to Love Worth Finding. A reminder that these shows continue to air because of your support. If you were ministered to by this program, please let them know by calling 1-877-LOVE-GOD. Praise God. Lift up a song for you. This is AM 930 for life.
When I went home that day from the cafeteria, Daddy, I'm quitting the team. I don't want to play for that racist coach.
Today on Focus on the Family Minute, Harry Casey recalls a lesson his father taught him.
My dad said, son, I want to tell you something. Your coach is the winningest coach in the state of Virginia. And son, he won before you got here. He will win after you leave.
Clinic has an amazing new way to stop you from doing this. Delay sleep is a single, non-surgical procedure that provides rapid relief from snoring. You deserve better sleep, and Dr. Jason Harvey has the newest technology. Omicron variant of COVID-19 that comes with the Winter Olympics less than 3 weeks away. Rain and snow off and on today and into the night. Stay tuned for a full forecast coming right up. I'm Christina Rappo, Global News Radio 880 Edmonton.
Times are changing, but some things continue to stand the test of time. Values like honor, integrity, and compassion. All things that Southgate Volkswagen holds near and dear. Family owned and operated for over 50 years, Southgate Volkswagen has stood the test of time, ensuring you not only get a fair deal on a quality vehicle, but also making sure you're supported every step of the way. Remember, it's not just about the vehicle you get, but the journey you experience along the way. Southgate Volkswagen, driving satisfaction online and on site. Bill made a good choice today, and I'm not referring to that new video game he bought to play against his grandkids. So I'm sure his sons will get the hang of it soon. Yeah, Bill. Oh, it's a good choice he made with getting his COVID-19 booster. Thanks for helping stop the spread, Bill. Thank you for doing your part, Canada. Choose to boost. With Covaxin, 100% protection can't be guaranteed and adverse reactions may occur. Talk to your healthcare professional to see if the vaccine is right for you. Brought to you by Moderna. CHQC, Global News Radio 880 Edmonton.
Freezing rain wreaked havoc on Edmonton and area roads, saying healthcare workers are facing an unprecedented demand, a union out with their list of demands, and an update on Pfizer's antiviral treatment for COVID-19. These stories and more coming right up. But first, let's head up to Global One. Things are melting, but also things are getting colder, so watching out for some icy sections out there and some cooling water in some areas. There is a big puddle eastbound 51st Avenue between Calgary Trail and Gateway Boulevard, so you want to watch out for that one as you make your way through. We also have reports of cooling water around the White Mud and the Henday on the east end of the city, so if you're traveling east, heading south on the Henday around that area. And then we also had reports of stalled vehicles southbound on 184th Street at the Yellowhead, so extra caution if you're making your way out that way. Hey Saver at Save on Foods, they've got low prices every day in every aisle. This week at Western Family Romaine Hearts for just $2.99 each. I'm Brady Howard, Chopper Traffic every 15 minutes on Global News Radio 880 Edmonton.
Temperature this afternoon hovering close to +1, at least to begin the day. Then that temperature will drop rapidly as we head through the afternoon and evening hours, likely finishing near -20 by the start of your Tuesday. We're dealing with icy conditions this afternoon, especially on residential streets and sidewalks and surrounding area highways. And with that temperature falling, with the added snow and rain this evening, we could be looking at a hard refreeze leading to more icy conditions to start your Tuesday. Keep that in mind for the morning commute. -18 and partly cloudy Tuesday afternoon, partly cloudy and a high of -15 on Wednesday. Thursday, 0 chance of some mixed precipitation as that Pacific air moves back into the area. Should be near 0 once again on Friday. Could be near +1 to +2 by the weekend. I'm Global News Chief Meteorologist Jesse Byer.
Wild day on the roads. Good afternoon. I'm Christina Grappo. Edmonton police say the lanes of 23rd Avenue between 119th Street and McGrath Road are back open to traffic. This after standing trucks had to be called in. The hill was so slippery, EPS said about 40 vehicles couldn't traverse it. Several of them were damaged in the process. Luckily, police say the crashes appeared to be minor, and no one on scene reported any injuries. Global's Kendra Spadowski has been out on the road since early this morning. She says Parkland County's highways are nothing short of treacherous. They actually sent out an emergency alert concerning their highways out there, the major highways 16 and 16A, as well as the secondary highways. And I actually talked to the fire chief out there in Parkland County. He said the highways this morning, the worst he's seen in 30 years on the job. There were crashes on the way to crashes. Even one of their trucks was involved in a collision. Kendra says Parkland County's fire chief strongly suggests that if you can, leave the office early to make your way home. Half a dozen flights from Edmonton International
Airport has been canceled today. All 6 of those flights are to Toronto, with scheduled departures ranging between late this morning and early tomorrow. 3 are through WestJet, 2 were on Air Canada, and 1 on Swoop. A handful of other flights are delayed to multiple BC destinations, including Kelowna, Victoria, and Abbotsford. And due to the extreme winter weather, Borden Park's Deep Freeze Byzantine Winter Festival is closed. Organizers said Borden Park will reopen for more winter magic January 19th at 4 o'clock. Deep Freeze features a variety of free activities, including live music, world cuisine, makeup workshops, and much more. The Health Sciences Association of Alberta has released a list of demands, as it says healthcare workers are facing an unprecedented demand. Those demands include better access to PPE, respecting the mental health of members, and a plan to recruit new healthcare professionals. HSAA President Mike Parker says shortfalls in these areas have led to worsening care for patients.
I would suggest that the outcome of patients has not been improved by a 1-hour delay in 911 or paramedics responding. So significant, yes. Impactful on patients in the recovery, absolutely.
Parker says the HSAA wants to see fitted N95 masks for all members, a proper workload, and less mandated overtime to help recruit and keep healthcare workers in the province. New data from the Angus Reid Institute finds Ontario Premier Doug Ford down 6 more points in approval amid frustration in Ontario over his handling of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Fewer than 1 in 3 Ontario residents approve of him. As for our Premier, Jason Kenney is at 26% approval, but that's 4 percentage points higher than he was the last time Angus Reid checked. Nearly 4 of 5 people asked strongly disapprove of Premier Kenney's COVID-19 strategy. Political scientist with Mount Royal University, Dwayne Bratt, says this 4% is basically in the margin of error and nothing to focus on.
I would really look at the fact he's still sitting in the 20s. I mean, if he had jumped 10 points, that would be different. But this is a marginal increase. And on the COVID issue, his numbers are getting worse and worse, the worst that he's ever had.
New Manitoba Premier Heather Stephenson garnered the lowest level of approval this quarter, with 21% of residents in that province commending her performance. Health Canada has given the green light to Pfizer's antiviral treatment for COVID-19. As Global's Sandy Salerno reports, the pill is meant for adults who are at high risk of becoming more seriously ill. Until now, the medications for treating COVID-19 had to be given intravenously or by injection in a hospital or healthcare setting. But Health Canada's Dr. Supriya Sharma says this is the first oral COVID-19 therapy that can be taken by patients at home.
Treatment consists of 2 tablets of niraparib and 1 tablet of ritonavir, taken together twice per day for 5 days.
The treatment is intended for use after a diagnosis with COVID-19 and within 5 days of the start of symptoms. Clinical trials show it was almost 90% effective at preventing serious illness in higher-risk patients.
Treatment with Paxlovid compared with no treatment reduced the risk of hospitalization and death caused by COVID-19 by 89% when the medications were started within 3 days of the beginning of symptoms.
As for delivery of the pills, Canada has only received enough to treat 30,000 patients so far. Sandy Salerno, Global News. Canada's Chief Public Health Officer says vaccinated patients won't be prioritized for this expensive treatment over the unvaccinated. Dr. Theresa Tam says as healthcare providers, you don't pick and choose which patients get treated, and priority goes to those most in need.
This is a scientific and rational use of a drug that is in short supply. We know that the unvaccinated are at higher risk of getting severe outcomes and getting hospitalized and ending up in the ICU. So this is the evidence, and we're following that evidence.
Tam says the approval is great news because it adds another important tool in the fight against COVID-19. U.S. stock markets closed today for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. Stay tuned for details from National Bank Financial on how Canadian markets fared. I'm Christina Drapeau, Global News Radio, 880 Edmonton. It's the just texted in and said, Jay, big flakes of snow just started in Mill Woods. And Tommy Gunn says, hey, Jay, Tommy from the fort. It's snowing out here and getting cooler. So I don't have to go out, and the roads are going to be really crappy. Stay safe. That's Tommy Gunn this afternoon. Yeah, over here on the south side, it's switched from rain into big ploopy snow flakes that are falling right now. That snow is going to continue to move in. We're expecting a couple of centimeters. The temperature is going to drop dramatically over the next few hours, and the wind's picking up. So we'll keep you updated right here on 6:30. Chad, want to keep you updated on this as well. And it was some good news today on the COVID front. Health Canada has approved the first oral medication for COVID-19 that can be taken by patients at home. The federal government has purchased 1 million courses of Pfizer's antiviral treatment Paxlovid. Now, so far, Canada has received about 30,000 courses of the medicine, and another 120,000 is on the way. Because supplies are limited right now, provinces and territories are being asked to prioritize the highest risk patients. I want to find out more about all of this with Dr. Craig Jenny, who's an associate professor in the Department of Microbiology, Immunology, and Infectious Diseases at the University of Calgary. Dr. Jenny, welcome back to the show.
Hello.
Tell us about Paxlovid. What is it? How does it work?
So this is an important development. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily term this a game changer, but it absolutely will be a critical tool as we continue to move forward with, Omicron and perhaps any other variants afterwards. What this is actually a combination of drugs. The main antiviral drug is a drug that inhibits a viral protein. So the virus makes some proteins, and these proteins have the ability to cut and process other proteins. So think of these as little scissors that go and cut other viral proteins and activate them. So this drug inhibits those scissors, and if the virus can't process its other proteins, it can't replicate, it can't spread, it can't be functional. So this is the key ingredient. The other one is actually something that shuts part of our body down so that we don't destroy the drug. So it allows the drug to work longer in our body.
Okay, so you know what, Dr. Jenny, I've been getting a number of texts. As soon as we started, I mentioned off the top of the show that I was going to be talking about this a number of people saying, this is just, ivermectin. This is Pfizer's version of ivermectin. They're pretty much the same. I've been doing reading on it, and again, it's pretty scientific, but from what I can tell, that is not the case. You're the scientist. Is there any, are they the same in any way?
No, you probably couldn't be further apart with the way drugs work. So ivermectin works by controlling how certain molecules, specifically little charged molecules like calcium ions, move across the wall of a parasite. So go from outside in your blood into the